Well, we're live. Welcome to the Instigators Hockey Show. That's Chris Kotsopoulos. He's over there. I think he's over there. No, he's over there. You better have your shirts. If you're listening to the show, you better have your shirts.
I can't watch this show without my sunglasses because Paulie D's like a movie star now.
Oh, here we go.
Control-D's kept bugging me all week about when's the show. I had totally forgot that Paulie, the Hollywood Hogan of our show here, had to do a red carpet treatment, Paulie, for the show, your cousin's show, Capo?
Yeah, red carpet premiere in Tampa.
There you go.
For Capo Rise to Power. It's a mafia series.
Love it.
That is written and directed by my cousin and a couple of great other individuals, Lou Silver. It's just a real fun project to be part of. One of my cousin's dreams. And my cousin Jimmy and I, we grew up very close together. We spent every summer together. We spent every weekend together. We spend a lot of time in the city with my grandparents in the summer times when school's out. So what a great project. Really just a lot of fun. My cousin's it takes place in Long Island, New York, and just a lot of fun. He has a lot of Islander undertones. He's always been an Islander fan. I
didn't know that.
Yep, he's a huge Islander fan.
I'm gonna have to meet this guy.
Yep, and some Islander undertones, but
he might use you to help him.
Yeah, so
I get through them. No, I'm just kidding.
It was a blast. Thursday night was the premiere, and
where was the premiere?
It's Cine Bistro. It was beautiful. It's a movie theater that has obviously adult beverages and food, and we had the red carpet, a lot of photography, just a lot of stuff. I'm going to put a couple of things up that were that were on YouTube and stuff, but a lot of fun. I got written into the series. The next 2 episodes I'm a big part of, so that's going to be fun. All I can tell you, really, I've signed a non-disclosure. All I can tell you is I'm a bad guy having a lot of fun. So, other than that,
I hope you weren't the guy with the shoebox like from that other.
Oh boy, I will tell you, I work a few over in this. So,
Goodfellas, that's the movie, Goodfellas.
With that being said, it should.
Get these off.
It'll be streaming in Memorial Day weekend. I'll let everyone know. Just keep your eyes out on my Facebook page and stuff. But new director and stuff in the next couple of episodes. Just very exciting. Very exciting. It's very exciting to be a part of. Like I said, my cousin Jimmy and I are very, very close. To be a part of his dream. And just to watch this thing, unfold, and
it's a great thing for that midlife crisis of yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun, man. Lots of fun, and it's an Italian heritage kind of fun, kind of mafia thing. So that's where I was last week. I'm probably going to say this now. I'm not sure that there's going to be – we need to do a show next week, probably around Wednesday, I would say, because I got my mom coming from New York. I got a lot of things going on around Christmas. So I think we got one more show before –
We definitely got to get one more in before everybody takes the
yep, a little bit of a Christmas holiday.
Merry Christmas attitude or the bah humbug attitude. I don't know which one, but it's one of the two.
So keep your eyes out, keep your ears out. It's Capo, C-A-P-O, Rise to Power. It's pretty exciting. I believe it's going to be on a couple of different networks. I'm not positive, so I don't want to tell you. But that's a very fun project. I start actually shooting again in January for a couple more things that I have to do. With that being said, Kotze and I had fireworks going.
Oh, boy. You guys missed the best part of the show, technically. But
So,
that's the way it goes.
we got so much to talk about. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about New York Rangers hockey, but I kind of want to do
and the Toronto Maple Leafs
and Toronto Maple Leafs and everyone else around the league. I see Beth is in the chat room. Good, because we're going to need your help, Beth. We got a lot of different things going on, but let's start off. We're going to start off soft. One of the big news stories that hit the airways today was, and Kotze and I do think a lot alike in a lot of situations, but I mean, what's the purpose of even announcing $1 million raise in the cap? I mean, that's ridiculous. So the cap is going to go $1 million, expected to be 83.5 next season. It's a $1 million increase for the teams. I don't know if that's even newsworthy. Cots, like, who cares? What are they going to do with $1 million?
In today's market, in today's day and game, money wise, that's absolutely ridiculous. You can't make any moves, basically, except for maybe one, Paulie. A guy, a veteran at $750,000, and he'll still have $250,000 left over. you can't do anything with. But you see, that would have been great back in my day in the '80s. I mean, with 20 guys on a team in the '80s, that's $50,000 more a player.
Right.
We'd have taken it back then. But today, tell that to a guy making $8 or $9 mil, like 12 mil, like Panarin. Like, hey, we're going to divvy up the $1 million amongst the whole 20. To him, he's got that in his pocket. You know what I mean? It's kind of dumb, but it is what it is. I guess that's what they're calling whatever the revenue sharing, and whether things work out the way they want it to do. $1 million. It's a lot of money to most normal people, but to pro athletes, not anymore.
Yeah, in the overall cap, it's ridiculous.
And the team, what's the team going to do with $1 million extra?
Well, here's the underlying part of this. I always have a little bit of motivation behind this, especially when it's digging towards the way the NHL is ran.
Especially when it's Barry Bettman, right?
Exactly. So here's my point of this whole thing. The NHL has estimated revenues to be around $5.7 billion this season, which up approximately $5.4 billion from last season. So let me ask you a question. If it's up what? So it's up $3 million? $300 million. Be up to about $300 million, okay?
Yeah.
From last season. Now, I don't know the financials of the NHL, and I don't claim to be an accountant at any means. But my point is that what we don't know, because they'll never share that information, is what was the estimated value when the season started? Now I'm a businessman. What was the projected value for the end of 22 into 23 and the end of 23, because the season actually ends in 23? Those are questions that aren't answered here. So is the NHL making an uptick? Are they making more money? Or are they on projection? Are they on target? We don't know where they are financially. Is this where they need to be, where they wanted to be? Was this projected where they should be? Now, in this account, I want to say this. The last I checked, the NHL was still majorly supporting Phoenix, which I think they're Arizona now. I don't even think they're Phoenix. There's a major contribution in that. Now, is this money, is the money that they're contributing to the Phoenix Coyotes, the Arizona Coyotes, whatever the fuck you want to name them now, is that part of the surplus? Or is that not being included? Is that a write-off? So there's a lot of questions here financially. Is the NHL doing? Are they progressing, and are they on the target numbers that they should be? And not for nothing, $5.7 billion for a professional line of work in the sports world is way under. Now I don't know what the NBA does, but I'm pretty sure it makes more than 5.7 billion.
I don't know the numbers either. I know like you can't compare it to the NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball. It's the NHL always lack in that department. But I guess the way I mean is I'm just a simple guy with that played in an era where the numbers you're talking about are just totally ridiculous compared to when I played. So I guess in a way it's kind of positive, Paulie, because it didn't go backwards. You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, 300 million is 300 million. You know what I mean? If that's what they boosted it up, their revenue. But I don't know how a team can work with just $1 million that's already right up against the cap.
Yeah.
You can help yourself with one player, basically, and one player only. That's it. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm going to revert back to my day. I mean, we're talking, apples to oranges, but I still remember playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the late 80s, and our total salary for our team that was on ice was around $3 million. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less.
Yeah.
With the highest paid player on the team was probably Boreas Alming, making close to $400,000 a year.
Right.
So when I hear these numbers, I still like, wow. I'll give you another one though, and I just found this out this week through my secretary, my wife Lisa. We were checking about trying to get some of my pension money out of Canada when it comes to the player. My retirement funds. There's a fund up there that's got X amount of dollars, blah blah blah, and we were trying to switch it over to an IRA up there and all that stuff, so I can actually pull it out. You know what I mean? And
right.
Through her homework and stuff like that, she said to me, I'm just telling you what my wife said. The players of today, when they retire, get a minimum of $255,000 a year. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to spill the beans on me. I get less than $10,000 a year.
Yeah.
I played almost 10 seasons in the NHL.
Yeah.
So this is how much the game has progressed monetary-wise.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
This is how we got screwed by the old school Alan Eagleson and his cronies, and we did get screwed. Anybody says.
And thank God you played for Toronto, because the Leafs got to take care of you, don't they, Cots?
No, they take care of everybody, but I'm not there anymore. I'm not around there, so I get taken care of better by the New York Rangers, which has always been my number one team. You know that they bring me in for events. I do things for them periodically, but just getting back to that cap thing, it's hard for somebody like me to comprehend those numbers, but I get it. If I'm running a team right now, you got $1 million surplus coming in next year to help your team out. Where the fuck do you start? You hire a new trainer? You buy a new bag of pucks? I don't know what.
I like the bag of pucks.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
Yeah. So on the other side of this, while we're talking about the league, I did read an article about a week ago, and I wanted to bring it up, but obviously, we didn't have a show last week. I did read an article that apparently the NHL has had meetings with the officiating, and you're going to see more penalty shots called. The NHL wants less penalties and more penalty shots. Now, they have talked about, I believe the Board of Governors are going to get together again, and they're talking about opening the parameters to penalty shots, because the parameter right now for a penalty shot, and I don't have the rule in front of me, but it is a clear, evident penalty when you remove a pure goal scoring chance or a scoring chance that is undeniable. So that's where the parameters fall with a penalty shot. You got to drag someone down who is going to have an available, clear-cut shot towards the net. And I believe they're going to open the parameters a bit to see what else they can kind of throw, because they want to remove more penalty, stop calling so many penalties, and call more penalty shots.
So how's this going to be done? You're going to put more pressure on the referees who have had to, referees and linesmen who have had to change their way of thinking over the last 20 years because the rule changes keep coming and coming and coming and coming. Does this mean that if I'm still playing today and I breathe on your boy Alex Ovechkin, does he get a penalty shot? Is that it? I mean, who's going to be the arbitrator of this? Some guy on the ice? Well, that deserves a penalty shot. This doesn't.
I think they're going to go. They're going to go to the table with it.
Pretty obvious. I think it's pretty obvious to most fans what deserves a penalty shot, what doesn't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now we're going to get into that one. I'm just telling you, if they put this bullshit in, you're going to have people screaming that wasn't worthy of it, or this was worthy of it. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Are we going to go to a video replay to make sure now? I don't know, Paulie. Like they just keep tinkering with the game. It just drives me nuts watching some of this stuff. And
that's it.
Again, I understand watching games and penalties should be called. They're not called, then they're called later and all that stuff. But now you're just going to add more fuel to the fire for people to get upset over a decision made by a human being on the ice.
I don't disagree. I'm just telling you what I read. They're considering opening the parameters.
Okay, my question to you and to the people: why? What is wrong with the game right now that they had to do this? What did they see that these geniuses in the offices and the board of governors of each team see that goes, maybe we should tweak that? Tell us what you saw that makes you want to do this. What, because you don't like people sitting in the penalty box?
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm trying to find the reasoning behind this one.
They will constantly try to change this game, Chris. You know that.
I know that, but
we've been doing this how long?
Sometimes it's for the good, but most times it's not.
I mean, listen. We how many times did we rant and rave? Everyone got used to it, but not that. And it's funny because watching last night's game, and I'm not going to talk about last night's game, but we are talking about officiating. I think how many times I thought to myself, I wonder what happened to that obstruction rule. Because I have never seen so many obstructive plays that's how the Devils play right now.
Well, they called one on the one defenseman last night.
They did. It was the first time I seen one. They called interference. They didn't call obstruction interference.
And I don't blame him for getting mad because he probably hasn't been called all year on it, and he gets called in that game, and the Rangers scored on that play.
Right. The rules went away. But my point is this. For years, we talked about the icing. We talked about the trapezoid. We talked about the obstruction. We talked about the flip over the boards. The one thing, we talked about this, and we debated it, and nobody talks about it anymore, was the two-line pass. The two-line pass changed the game. It was a different game when there was a two-line pass, and they opened it up. They sped up the game. They sped up the game so much by taking the two-line pass out. But what did they create? They created more headshot problems. So they had to make a headshot rule because now guys are just going 1,000,000 miles an hour, not obstructed by anything on the fucking blue line. They got their heads down and boom. So we got to make a headshot rule.
That leads me into what I wanted to talk about. Well, last week but you weren't there. Andreas Anastasio or whatever, the big Blackhawk guy. He did a little chirping, a little crybaby action there. Yeah, I got my Guinness going. He did a little crying there about Trouba's headshot. He called it. Like seriously, dude. How long have you been in the league?
Not long enough.
How long have you been in the league? Don't you understand that you can't play hockey with your fucking head down? Even if the rules have changed to protect you, you still can't play with your head down, you dummy.
Yeah.
I'm all crying about it.
Yeah.
And my favorite guy that I always remind you of about, I wish Condrey Miller would learn a little bit from this. Chris Pronger came out and he straightened everybody out, the fans and the players. You got to keep your head up or you're going to get your head busted.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
And here's the thing, and I'm so glad that he didn't get penalized for that.
No.
and nobody needed to review it.
Penalized for it.
Here's the thing: you keep your hands down, and Trouba does that. He keeps his hands down. Now, when he makes contact, if you finish through, that's okay. You can't lead with your hands up.
Okay, but you know what, Paulie? No matter if you hit a guy at the speed that the NHL players, if I hit you right in that face mask right there, and I catch you with your head down, automatically I'm going to follow through with a shot to your chin. It's going to get a piece of your head.
Yeah, sure.
Because you were the dummy with your head down.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd like to see. You want a rule change? Okay, give the guy a 5-minute mage for making contact with the head, but give the guy that got contacted 5 minutes for being stupid.
I love this fucking stupid rule.
Make it easy. Make it easy for everybody.
5 minutes for being stupid.
Exactly.
I like it.
Look, you're playing a high-speed game. Yeah. Where the fuck are the radar on these people today?
I
Don't
love
they
it.
understand this shit?
5 minutes being stupid. I love it.
Exactly. Why not?
Well,
you know, that'll embarrass a few people. Will it maybe make them keep their heads up? I just don't get it. I don't know how people expect to see body checks in the league without contact with the head sometimes. It's going to happen, people. It's impossible to make a 100% clean check in hockey. It's the same thing in football. They got these guys in football turning their heads to the side now. No more helmet hits, right? It still happens because it's so fast and the guy's not aware of it. He's not aware of what's coming. Well, and that's your fault. So I want 5 minutes for being stupid penalties.
I still don't understand how you can play this game on a professional level and then be as stupid as whatever his name was and come out.
He came out and cried about it. He did say a few things derogatory towards Trouba about how he's an $8 million man. He's doing nothing for his team. This is how he gets noticed. And blah blah blah. Well, you're just a crybaby. You're a typical woke crybaby. Like that word, people? Woke crybaby playing in the National Hockey League.
Just dumb how you can talk about how you got slaughtered on the ice because you're an idiot and you're not smart enough to say shit. I should have kept my head up because next time that happens, I might not get off the ice, man. But
anyway. It's pretty simple, and with all the changes, the modern day game, this, that, fast, speed, this. You and I talked about this years ago. We've talked about it on this show. Don't these guys look in the lineup every night? Like in the dressing room, you get a little that sheet that goes in the middle of the program that has who's in the lineup tonight. Don't you study who's capable of doing something like that? Obviously, by now, everybody should know that every now and then, Trouba will knock your ass out. So aren't you aware that this guy's on the ice? Why wasn't Eric Lindros aware of Scott Stevens? Because they're just dumb. No offense to Eric Lindros, but you were stupid. You didn't know that Scott Stevens was on the ice at the same time when he knocked you out in the playoffs? Did you know when you dumped the puck in Barry Beck's zone that there's a possibility you getting crunched against the boards? You know what I'm trying to say? Don't you know this by now?
Yeah.
Who can and who will and who might and who might not?
You would think.
Well, but I'm just, you'd think these guys have a little bit better hockey IQ when it comes to the danger part of the game. Not just the speed, conditioning, stick handling, this, that. There is still an element of danger in this game that you got to be aware of. And I don't see that in a lot of players today, Paul.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I digress.
No.
Get the next subject going. I'm going to grab me another beer.
Oh, shit. Grab me one, too.
Yes, sir. I got Molson Canadian if you want one.
Oh, that sounds like a great one. All right. So we did that. I guess, there's honorable mentions here we got to go through a little bit. How about Connor McDavid, though, huh? 25 goals, 55 points, leads the league. The guy is just a wrecking machine. But Kotz, I think we got to talk about the Edmonton Oilers, man.
As good as they are, it's the same thing, isn't it? They're out of a playoff spot.
I mean, gosh, you would think with the amount of talent and where they came from last year, I don't get it. I don't get it. What are they missing, Kotz? What are they missing?
Well, I think they're overrated when it comes to the players they have on defense. To be quite honest with you. Sometimes what happens, you get on a team where you have, such high skilled players like Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and more. You know what I mean? Hyman and all those guys. That you as a defenseman, you get caught up in their game instead of really doing what you're paid to do, and that's play defense. And I think that's been their biggest problem probably for the last 6, 7, 8 years with Edmonton.
Yeah.
Don't understand. Don't understand about why they haven't resolved that there with two of the greatest scorers in modern day hockey, the way it is. You and I always differ on that about what I think about what scoring is today compared to the old days. But I think they might be just a little bit overrated on their 6 guys on D, Paulie.
As of right now, they are in the wild card. But
but that's, you got number 1 and number 2 guy in points, and you're fighting.
I know. Kotz, you surprised to see Colorado on the outside looking in, or what?
Not really. McKinnon's been hurt for a week. They've had a few injuries to some pretty good players on that team.
Yeah, he's going to be.
I think what they're doing is right now is they understand that they've been wounded all year, and they're just biding their time trying to get that team together healthy. And they'd be a team that if they get into the playoffs, I'm not so sure you want to face right off the bat.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
You know what I mean? But I'm a little surprised. There's a lot of surprises in the league this year. We can go to the East, Paulie. Nobody thought Boston would do what they're doing. Nobody thought the Jersey Devils would be doing what they're doing. I'm serious. Nobody thought these two would be 1 and 2 in the conference, the East. I don't care what anybody said.
Nobody thought Seattle would be where they were, or Winnipeg, for that matter.
Well, Winnipeg, not last season, the season before, was a damn good hockey club. For last season they took a basic, they shit their pants a little bit. But now they're starting, like they're one of the top teams. I think they're the top team in the West. I'm not positive.
They are. Yep, 37 points. They're tied with Dallas for 37 points.
Yeah, so there's a lot of upside down stuff going on. And, I think 2 weeks ago when we did our show, the Islanders are one of the top 3 teams in the league, and now they're down below the Rangers. I mean, things are going a little haywire, a little crazy. But you know what's going to lead up to, Paulie? I think there's going to be quite a bit of action at trade deadline for a lot of teams this year. I really do.
I'm wrong. Vegas is the number 1 team in the West with 41 points.
So I think so does Winnipeg, though.
Winnipeg's 37 points.
All right, but they're leading their division, aren't they?
Yes, they're leading the Central, and Vegas is leading the Pacific. And
I think Vegas is going to come down a little bit, but they'll still be there at the top, I think, by the end of the year.
What's the difference with Seattle this year? What am I missing there? The crack.
I think you're missing the same thing I'm missing. We don't get to see them that much because the coverage of them has been pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Unless you got the NHL package, TNT and TBS and ESPN, who knows when they have their games. There's still that problem.
Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me because when you think about who's running that organization, Ronnie Francis, come on. We're talking about the 4th leading point getter of all time. As, the guy knows the game, and he knows the business, and he knows the players. So he's done a pretty damn good job. But I still think they're going to come back to the pack a little bit.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I agree with that. I think you're going to see the same thing with the New Jersey Devils, to be honest with you.
I don't. I disagree with you.
So,
you and I argue about that one. I don't agree with you.
Well, let's head back east here. I mean,
let's start.
I'll say this again, man. I I don't get the Boston Bruins. I don't get the Boston Bruins. I mean, you look at it, it's not like it's a star-studded team. I think they had they just had another record. Didn't they have the most home wins or the most
Well,
consecutive
they,
home
they,
wins?
they, they lost. They won. Did they win or lose that game in overtime the other night at home?
I just
They were setting a record, though. I know that. Yeah.
I just don't like. I don't look at that lineup and say, "Oh my God, this is a
Yep.
deadly lineup."
Yeah, but you know what, Paulie? I think when you look at their lineup outside of it, obviously Pasternak and McAvoy, you look at the rest of the guys on D. Okay, if you rated them 1 to 10, they're all 6s or 7s, Paulie. There's no 3 or 4 on there. They really don't have a 5th, 6th defenseman. They're all pretty equal.
Nah.
And their goaltending, what's his name, Little Mark or whatever? He's been great. Can't remember his name, Little something.
Yeah,
He's been really good for them. And it's the same thing up front too, Paulie. They get contributions from everybody on that team. Like, yeah, we got our first line, we got our second line, but the third and fourth lines could be a second line. That's the way I look at that team. They're all above 6s as players, Paulie. Not every team can say that. Not every team in the league can say that. So when you got that kind of average ability all the way through your lineup, you're going to be good. And obviously, the structure is good. They've been good for a couple of years too, Paul. They haven't been horrible, but now, they're the real deal. I mean, they're not going to fade for sure. That's one thing.
No, I don't.
What's the name of the goaltender? I think it's Little Mark, something like that. Come on, Mason. That's it. Omar. That's it. That was close.
Omar.
Way to go, Mason.
Yeah. I tell you though, man, 45 points is best in the league. Their goal differential is plus 48. I mean, they're just. I mean, they got 4 losses, 27 games. The Rangers actually have played the most games in the league.
Yeah.
30 games.
Yeah.
Them in Vegas. I mean, I don't know, man. I try to understand that. And then watching the other night, the Jersey Devils. I mean, they're definitely quick. Jack Hughes is coming into his own. Boy, let me tell you. Pittsburgh, one of the hottest teams in the league right now.
Pittsburgh and the Rangers are the 2 hottest teams right now.
I think Pittsburgh's they were on like a 10-game winning streak.
I know they've won their last 5, but that's the last thing I know. And I know the Rangers have won their last 4, technically.
So, Chris, are you surprised with the Hurricanes? I thought maybe. I mean,
with who?
Are you surprised with the Hurricanes being in? I thought the Hurricanes would actually be a little bit tougher of a team this year. But I mean, obviously 27 games in, they're holding their own in the Metro. 36 points. I actually thought that they would probably be where Pittsburgh is, Tampa Bay. I know you wanted to talk about Toronto.
Leafs are playing great hockey right now.
Yeah,
they're really. If there's any team that's playing as good a hockey as Boston, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs right now.
And Marner's
Mitch Marner broke the Leaf record of Daryl Sittler, a guy I played against at one time, obviously, and it was 18 games was the record. And Eddie O actually had an 18-game scoring streak, and Mitch Marner's now up to 23. I believe he's got a point or so tonight.
23 straight, right?
Yeah, 23 straight with a point. But it's really funny. I kind of looked all that stuff up today, and I think Gretzky's got like 55 or something like that is the record, 50-something straight games with a point. So, but today, that's a good accomplishment. Mitch Marner is playing well for the Leafs. They're getting good goaltending. They're actually playing pretty good hockey. Losing a few key players on the D line. I keep saying it. That team on paper should be a serious Stanley Cup contender, but like I've always told you, paper's one thing, on the ice is another. You got to play it on the ice. Games aren't played with a computer analytics. You know what I mean?
Right. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up the Boston Bruins real quick.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, Paul. I'm going back to that. I'll go back to it. There's not a weak spot on that team. They don't have a weak player from their fourth line to their top line to their sixth defenseman to their. They don't. They're all pretty good hockey players.
You're talking about Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pasternak's got 19 goals. I mean, that's he's not far behind McDavid.
I think he's a free agent too. So
Hall's got 11. Bergeron's 10. Let's see here. Assists.
Pasternak
has 19 assists. 19 goals, 19 assists. He's number one on the team with 38 points. Patrice Bergeron. This guy, you can't kill this guy, man. 22 points. I mean, and didn't he sign like a real wimpy contract just to come back and play?
Yeah, but what's their how many 10-goal scorers do they have right now?
Let me see here. Just 3 at 10.
Okay.
Over 10. Bergeron, Hall, and Pasternak.
Well, DeBrusk has 10. He scored tonight too.
Okay, well, not including tonight, he had 9. Marchand had 8. Krejci 8. Charlie Coyle 8.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good, Paulie. You got about 5 or 6 guys with 8 or more.
Tell you, I would have liked the Nick Foligno on the New York Rangers, but anyway.
I'd rather have the one from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I tell you, I don't know, man. I'm so impressed with the Boston Bruins and what they've been able to accomplish so far. I know we're only 30 games in, but I don't know, man.
Well, they're not going to fold. Boston's not going to. There's just too much veteran leadership on that team. Okay, they're going to be at the top or close to the top all year. That's the way I see it.
Yes, Michael, you're right. That's the team I wanted to talk about. And I got distracted. I had so many things I wanted to bring up, but the Florida Panthers, not the team that they were last year. That's for sure.
Well,
I mean,
Florida's had some pretty good talent the last couple of years and pretty good teams, but that trade might have disrupted a few things.
Yeah, and what's funny?
I think Kachuk's having a good year down there for him.
He is.
You know what I mean? It's
not Huberdeau isn't doing so great.
Huberdeau was doing good early, but then he kind of got into the doghouse with Mr. Sutter.
Yeah, well,
and you know how droll and how Sutter is. He came out and said it too.
I read the article today. Was it today or yesterday? It was today. There's a 20-point difference. I mean, Kachuk is killing it, and Huberdeau, I think, had, I think he's got like 10 goals, 17 assists. He might have 27 points, and I think
which isn't really bad. It's just not what they expected.
Right. Exactly. And Kachuk had like 37 points.
Yeah, I looked it up. He had like 13 goals and 27.
Yeah. So big, huge, huge swing. But yeah, that trade, that very, very strange to see. Because if I was a betting man, which I am not, I would have bet the other way around. I thought, I think Huberdeau is more of a natural goal scorer. He's a much more skill. I would say skilled player. But yeah, will over skill sometimes is just all it takes. So,
well, again, you got, that was a big trade between both teams, and I still think Calgary will be all right in the end. But let's get into something that I really. I brought it up to you earlier, and we were talking about it off the air. The fans getting into it in Arizona.
Oh, forgot about this one too. I have the article. Hold on.
It just brings me up to the last show we did where I talked about fans acting like assholes and morons.
Yeah, we did. We talked about the Devils fans throwing shit at the players. So yeah, check it out. Only in hockey.
For those of you that haven't seen it, check it out on YouTube somewhere. Look at the video. But
New York Post Fan gets his finger bitten off during a crazy fight at the Coyotes Bruins game. So the story, real quick. This was. Let's see here. The fan who did the biting was arrested for aggravated assault, while 5 others were given citations for their respective roles in the melee. So, according to the police, the individual arrested for aggravated assault bit the tip of another individual's finger completely off. Completely off. I don't think you understand how serious that is. Like,
Jeffrey Dahmer's still alive.
oh my God. So, I mean, I don't really have to get into the crazy things, but if you
Well, it was a pretty good brawl. If you watch the video, they went at it good. There was a long brawl there.
You gotta see the video. You gotta see the video. Matter of fact, Beth, I don't know if Beth can do this, but if you can, it's on Twitter.
You can find it anywhere.
If you could push it onto the fan page, onto the Instigators hockey page. But Cots, when we talked about it, you had a little bit of
memories for me. The Windsor Spitfires, I played for them when I was 16, and it was their inaugural season in the Major Junior A, and we went into Hamilton in a preseason game, the Hamilton Fin Cups, I think they were at the time, and they were loaded with all kinds of goons and all kinds of this, and we were just a bunch of guys they put together through the OHA draft and a bunch of older guys, and we went into Hamilton and played a game there in preseason, and for some reason got into back in the 70s. You know how it was, a brawl. We had a big brawl. Everybody's on the ice, and I got involved with this guy named Joe Contini, who was a veteran of their team, and I'll say it like it was. I was beating the shit out of this guy really good. I had him on his knees with a sweater, tight around my hand, and just throwing uppercut after uppercut, just beating the piss out of this guy. Then all of a sudden, somehow, I don't know how it happened, but the fight changed like in an instant. My middle finger, this one here, folks, was getting chomped on by Joe Contini. He had it right up to my knuckles, and he was biting as hard as he could. And I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" All of a sudden, I'm like this instead of throwing punches. I don't know what to do.
Fucking hand gets stuck.
Oh, I'm screaming like a banshee, and this guy won't let go. So I just find him take my other hand and just like rip his lips apart. There. And I had teeth marks all the way around, like somebody put a ring on my finger, all the way to the fucking bone.
Oh my God!
Okay? All the way to the bone, and after I was like irate. And I'm looking at the officials afterwards when they broke it up. I said, "That guy fucking bit me," and they're looking at me like I'm an idiot. I said, "Here's the proof. I showed them everything." Okay, I showed them everything. Look at the teeth marks and everything. They didn't give me anything for that, Paulie. But I remember like it was yesterday, just beating on this guy, and then all of a sudden the fight stopped just like that. He took my finger and just bit on it like like I don't know, man. He was hungry. It was the only way he could stop me from beating the shit out of him, I guess. It hurt. Hilarious. It hurt. So that fan who got his fingertip bit off, I guarantee is hurting pretty much, not only with the law and the court case coming up, but that finger's probably pretty sore.
Oh my God.
That's a true story, big people. It's a true story. Joe Contini.
That's a great story.
I call him everything in the book. He was an Italian. I called him a wop. I called him everything. I didn't care.
Fucking hilarious, man.
Oh, he bit me. Fuck.
Oh, he bit you, all right.
I don't know whether I was more surprised about the bite afterwards or the fact that the referee did pay no attention to the teeth marks. Broken skin, blood, everything. Shit.
He's probably like, well, you're beating the shit out of him, so.
Oh, I give it to him. Not good, apparently.
It's fucking 9:15 already. Holy moly.
We gotta get to the Rangers who you stuck a fork in.
I did.
You stuck a fork in him, and I remember you stuck a fork in him, and I said to you, I'll give him another what? I said like another 10 games? You said you'd give them only 5.
Not even. I thought that 3 games where they,
Yeah, okay.
I think they pulled 3 points out of a possible 6. I was like, put a fork in them. This team's done. They just did not. They didn't look good. They didn't gel well. They didn't play well. They didn't look like they gave a shit. I will tell you that I never called for Gallant's head though. Right?
Yeah.
I really very impressed with Gallant, with his demeanor in the media, with the media, the way he talks about the team, and then we'll talk about this because you made this point time and time again. Everyone was bitching all the lines. Well, when the lines aren't working and you're losing, I mean, what do you do as a coach? You have to try to find a better combination. It's like a lock. You got to turn the dial as much as you can. When a line gets stale, and I'll be the first one to tell you, I was starting to write Chris Kreider off. I was upset with that line. And I think moving Kreider off Zibanejad's line was a good move. I see more in Chris's game. I feel like he's playing more physical than he was when he was playing with Zibanejad. I don't know if you noticed it. Last night he throws a big hit. I just feel like in these last couple of wins, I feel like Chris is doing those little things that we've asked him to do when he was playing with Zibanejad. Now I feel like he's using his body more. I feel like he's going to the net more. I feel like he's making a difference. And Kotze said this how many times? Everyone's like, Kako's a bust. This one's a bust. Lafreniere's a bust. And Chris will always say, you guys keep forgetting that these guys aren't getting major minutes like the number 1 drafts that are on every other team. I mean, Jack Hughes was great last night, but the guy plays, 100,000 minutes.
He had a 6-minute shift the other night. Jack Hughes played a 6+ minute shift 2 nights ago. Whatever,
against the Islanders. That's correct. But Potts, go ahead and I mean, I think you want to elaborate on what
I think a lot of Ranger fans, including us, at times are really disappointed with the way that the season's going. But I think we also got to understand one thing: they had such a great season last year. Chris Kreider had an exceptional season, the best of his career. Like you said, probably won't come close to that again. I hope he does, but he probably won't. I mean, it was just such a perfect year for him. And Gallant coming in his first year and getting him to the Eastern Conference Finals and basically, a couple games away from going to the Stanley Cup. I think expectations were like, how can it be? How much more better can it be? Obviously, getting to the Stanley Cup, you know what I mean? And that first game of the year against Tampa was probably I think their best game of the year. A lot of people are saying the last couple, were pretty good. The one in Vegas and stuff like that, but they kind of like were muddling around there. Things weren't going well. All the guys that you were counting on, including Fox and Kreider and Panarin, were struggling at times. Okay, I think Gallant realizes that you've got to push buttons on these players and show them that, okay, listen, you're not producing right now where you are, so we're going to move you around. And as a player, when you get moved around like that, if you get moved from 4th to 3rd, that means that's an upgrade for you. So you should be positive about that. Right. A guy that gets moved from the 1st to the 3rd or the 2nd to the 4th has got to realize that, they're not happy with my play right now. So I got to do something. I got to start working my ass off a little bit better, get a little bit more productive for my team to do well. It's the same thing with the defense. I mean, listen, Trouba had a fantastic year last year. Right now, he's still struggling. Let's call it what it is. Captain, he's shown some spirit with his hits and his fights, trying to get the team going through the doldrums there where they weren't playing well. But he's struggling right now. And right now, I like to see players getting promoted for doing what they're supposed to do. And if they're playing well, promote them. That's all there is to it, plain and simple. What I would really like to see is some of the younger guys get a little bit more ice time on the power play, though, Paulie.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to the younger guys like Kakko and Lafreniere and and whoever, even your guy Hedl. come on the ice with 25, 30 seconds to go on a power play because 9 times out of 10 the puck gets dumped up. Now you got less than 20 seconds to do something with it. So I like what Gallant's doing. I like the line shuffling around. I like the fact that he went back. He reverted back to the kid line last night. Okay. And stuff like that. I like the fact that he moved Trouba with Libor hijack. I like the fact that, like Schneider. Schneider to me right now is probably
playing good hockey.
Being the best. He's the best all-around defenseman on the team right now.
He's playing well.
Word people, defense. Defense is part of your job description when they say defensive. It's not always about offense.
Right.
But he did start contributing offensively. He scored 3. He actually scored 4 goals. 1 was disallowed, remember? So, I like what Glad's doing. And that was a big win last night because Jersey came out flying last night. Jersey's fast. And that's why I think they're still going to be good all the way along. Will they be first, second, third? But they're going to be in the top 3-4 teams in the East. I guarantee you that's going to happen, Paul. I'm not guaranteeing, but I'll say that now. Right. They're going to be there because their young guys have grown together over the last 2-3 seasons because of how crap they were.
Right.
Now they're starting to show why they were drafted, from Hughes to Keisher and other guys that they have on that team. And they added a couple good defensemen. But last night's win against that team was good because it looked like they're going to get their asses blown out. Jersey was all over in that first 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, 2-0. Plenty of other chances to score. They didn't score. And, the Rangers got back in it, and then all of a sudden it was 3-1 again. And then the biggest part of the game was Shesterkin. I'm not going to say he had a great game last night, but he made the biggest play in the game, stopping their number one guy on a penalty shot, which would have put as you'd say, put a fork in him, made it 4-1. And it gave the Rangers a chance.
Yeah.
It gave them a chance. And I think they took that chance and obviously won the game in overtime. And I'll give your boy Hedl credit for once not overthinking a play. Take the pass, shoot right away with the game winner. There was a great pass from Panarin.
That was a hell of a shot, though, too.
Well, again, when you don't overthink things, sometimes it works out good. But sometimes these guys like Hedl, like to overthink shit, and it don't work out so good.
I tell you, but Panarin's on fire, man. On freaking fire. 35 points.
No, again, Paul, what do you do with a guy like him? People with the analytics will say he's also a -8 or 9.
Yeah. Oh.
Which is the worst on the team.
Yeah, but I mean,
what do you do? I'm just saying, what do you do? You can't pick on him for that because without him, you take those points away. Where are they?
He's actually a -6 right now.
Wow, he's one of the worst on the team.
But I understand what you're saying. I'd like to know his ice time, though. I mean, he plays in every situation except for what? The PK. I don't really think he plays PK at all.
No.
Maybe when it's about done and they're trying to get a breakaway or something. But
Panarin's a threat every time he's out there, and the opposite teams know that.
He plays a ton.
When you're on the other side, you know the Panarin's a threat. So you're going to be keyed up for him.
I thought I want to make a couple key spots here. In this little 6 games where they've gotten points, right? I think they got 4 wins. I got to tell you that it really goes as Shesterkin goes. Shesterkin, the other night, last night, like I said, he wasn't great, but the key play right there with that big save. They're done. And then I thought he was really good in the I thought he was good in the Colorado game too, Kotz. I thought he made some spectacular saves in that game, man. But I really feel like this team, just like when Henrik Lundqvist was around, different component because Henrik and the defensive style when he was around was winning games for them. But I think this team really goes as Shesterkin goes, man. And last night I thought was a really powerful win for that team. Down 2-0. You never want to do that. Cuts. This team has got to get the home take advantage of a home ice. But losing a lot of key games at home, especially a week ago, it was 2 weeks ago. I hope that doesn't come and bite them in the ass. But I think Shesterkin is so key to what this team is going to do for the rest of the year.
Oh, no, there's no question. I always told you that you're going to win Stanley Cups or you're going to contend for a Stanley Cup. It's all about goaltending. Ask Edmonton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got these guys leading the league every year, and their defense sucks. And part of your defense is your goaltending.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. I think goaltending's a key for the Rangers, but I think they all have to just realize that last year was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Do your fucking job. That's it. Do your job. What your job just.
Did we lose you? Uh-oh, you froze on us. At least you froze on me. Yeah, Matt, I don't disagree with you. It's going to be interesting to see how they play the Flyers. I don't know what happened with Kotz. I don't know if he's got a bad connection there. But I think, looking at the chat room here right now, there's a lot. Here he goes. I got him back.
All right. Just leave it like that. Don't.
Oh, all right.
All of a sudden,
yes, let's see.
The Gremlins got me.
So, if you want to finish your thought there,
guys just got to do their job. That's all there is to it. Plain and simple. Yeah. When you're given responsibilities out there, do what you're supposed to do. And I think expecting them to be what they were last year, points wise, this wise, that wise, I think that's a hard sell right now. But I think I didn't think they were done 2 weeks ago, and I still don't think that. I think they're still going to be okay. I think they'll be okay. I think they're still going to make the playoffs, and from there, you never know.
Who do you? I like putting Matt's comment up.
Bass? All right, what's
the Flyers.
Okay.
The Flyers coming up with your boy there, Uncle Vinny.
No, he's your boy, Uncle Vinny. You're the one who nicknamed him that.
Yeah, and
Vinny.
That team likes to play a very ugly style. Along with they got some guys that could throw some fisticuffs.
Oh, they do.
What's his name? Delorier.
McEwen.
I mean, these guys are going to run around. What's going to happen, Cots?
Well, you better pray that Rangers score on power plays and from these guys running around, because they really don't have anybody to match them physically. I mean, you look at Delorier, he's not a tall guy, but he's as tough as they come, real good fighter. McEwen might not be as good a fighter as Delorier, but he'll go with the best of them.
But here's the thing,
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Paulie, anymore. I don't know what their thinking is about that. I wish they had Ryan Reese still. I wish they had a guy that they could plug into a situation like that. Even if you sit him on the bench, just to let the other team know that I'm here, just in case you guys pull this bullshit. But they don't have anybody like that. I think Goodwill will stand up for himself, but he's a light heavy. He's not a heavyweight. Keandre Miller, for a big guy, won't do that.
I'm not even talking about that side of it. What about just throwing guys around because there's no repercussions?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's basically the same thing. These guys are going to do what they want physically. You're hoping the way it is right now with the Rangers lineup, the way it is, you hope that they do and they take penalties.
Yeah.
That's the only way that can be a positive for the Rangers. Who's gonna fight a Deloria on the team right now? Who's capable?
I mean, the only guy that can go would be Trouba. And, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to lose Trouba to a guy like Delorier, for one. For two, I mean, my biggest concern. Oh, there's the big boy. He's a good boy.
He only comes down when he's got to go take a leak.
He's a sweet dog, though.
Oh, yeah.
Where's the psychopath?
Oh, she's upstairs laying in bed.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because, first of all, don't they play the Leafs first?
Toronto?
I think they play the Leafs at home.
See here.
I think they play the Leafs at home on tomorrow night.
Toronto tomorrow, which is a tough game.
Whoa!
And then Philly on Saturday and Chicago on Sunday. So, you know,
I think Matthew brought it up. Buse there. I did take a look, Matthew, at Rempe down in Hartford. I took a look at some of his videos. He's a big boy. He's 6'8", fucking 220 or something like that. He likes to throw. So maybe it's time to bring up one of these guys. And, again, that part is getting smaller and smaller in the league, Paul. You got to be able to play the game. But I still think you have to have somebody that's able to do that on your team.
I agree. Especially when you got a guy like Panarin, who, Tom Wilson decided he was going to throw around because there was no repercussions. I just don't want to see that part of the game anymore.
And Matthew Buse brings up another one. I know they brought up Ben Harper, but he hasn't seen a game yet. He likes to scrap once in a while.
He's a big dude, isn't he?
I don't think he's a great scrapper, but he'll go.
Well, he is a big guy. He's
He's fought a few tough guys in his day.
Yeah. All right.
So I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know where the league's going with all this stuff. I think again, eventually, I said it to you off record. I'm going to say it again. League keeps going the way it is. I believe that they're really trying to put a woman in the game to play hockey in the NHL. I'm just telling you. This is my prediction. Someday you're going to see it.
I don't know.
You can say you don't know, but someday you're going to see it.
I mean, don't you think you'd see a woman in baseball first?
No.
I don't know, man.
I'm just saying, this was brought up to me about 3-4 years ago from a good friend of mine, Pierre LaRouche. He's the one that started that. And I looked at it the same way you're looking at it, but I'm looking at it the way they're trying to make the game faster. They're trying to make the game safer. They're trying to eliminate fighting. They're trying to eliminate all that stuff, Paulie. So I'm not talking about now. I'm not talking about a year from now. I'm talking about 5-10 years maybe. That's my prediction. I think someday you're going to see that. You're going to see that.
I don't know, man, but I hope you're wrong.
I'm just saying.
I don't know that I can enjoy the game.
Well, they had a Pride game the other day. I think did you see that video too, where a guy bumps a person during the Pride game, and the guy ends up with a concussion. I looked at the video and I was like, wow, he hardly touched the guy. The NHL sponsored this thing.
I think we should move on to a new subject.
I'm just saying though, I watched the video and I was like, wow, how did this guy get a concussion from just being bumped into?
Cuts. Let's talk. We don't have a lot of time here, but let's talk about this Toronto team. New York Rangers face the Toronto Maple Leafs. Madison Square Garden. It's a home game. Another big home game.
I'm listening. I got to let the boy out. Go ahead.
The big boss. This is a big game for the Rangers, I think. I think there's a lot involved in this game. I think it's a gauge game. I think it's a home game. I think this is a big game for the Rangers. I think it's a lot bigger than just another day at the office.
Well, it's another test to see if what they did the last 4 games is for real or not.
Right.
Um, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but it's almost a good thing that they're playing the least because it's almost going to be a similar type game that Jersey plays. You're going to see a lot of fast, high-skilled guys like Jersey has up front.
Yeah.
It's going to be all about speed again. The only difference here, I think Jersey's defensemen are a little bit better overall than the Leafs defensemen overall. So that might be a point of attack for the Rangers to dump the puck and chase these guys. You know what I mean? Go after them.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to face the same kind of game that you face when you play Jersey. Because Jersey's fast, Paulie. They're as fast as anybody.
Oh, I know.
So are the Toronto Maple Leafs. So same kind of thing. They should be prepared for this one way or the other because of how they played Jersey the other night.
Can't you think? I would imagine Shesterkin's going to play. I would imagine that Shesterkin's going to play.
Right back. Eat shit, you fuck.
Who?
Michael
What happened?
Look at this. He's down at the bottom. Yeah, move the fuck on, he said. I'll tell him to go fuck himself.
Oh, my God.
Get back in your truck and move. I know the guy, Paul. Relax.
So, all right, Toronto, and then I think Shesterkin plays Toronto. Saturday, Sunday, back to back. You think he rests him against Philly and plays him against Chicago? I think Shesterkin has to take a bite now and really.
Well, it depends on how they play against the Leafs, and how they play against Philly. If you don't come out with points in that way, you're not going to go to Chicago. You need points.
Exactly. That's good point.
He's just being a dick now. Look at him.
Right, come on. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. So if Shesterkin plays Toronto, let's say they lose there, you really need to pick up the next 4 points, I would think. He's going to have to play.
Well, again, I'm not going to get into the same thing we talked about 2 weeks ago. They got 3 games coming up. If they can go 500 or better, that's good. You've done okay.
No.
So I'm not. I think you're starting to lean towards that. Well, they lose all 3 games, they're going to be the stick of fork in a time.
These are valuable points, man.
They're all valuable. I get it. But
well, my point is you're playing subpar teams in Philly and Chicago. You need to gain these points.
Yeah, but you're not. You don't take anybody lightly, and when you do, you're stunned. You know what I mean? Like they've already proved that to themselves so many times this year by playing down to certain teams. Yeah, there he goes. Don't you have a truck ride to go somewhere, Mike?
Hey, Mike, and you do have like a pink letter around your name there. What's up?
Oh.
No. Well, I think obviously this team is not as fragile as they were a week and a half ago because winning changes everything. Chris Kreider's got 14 goals. That's pretty good. So, he's on pace to do what? So we're 30 games in. We got 50 games left. So in 30 games, 50 games, I mean, he's going to have a good goal scoring year if he keeps this up. He'll break way into the 30s, almost to 40 goals. I mean, if he hits 40 goals this year, I'd say it was a good year for him. I mean, I know 50-something. What do you have? 52 goals last year.
Yeah.
I mean, if Kreider breaks the 40-goal mark, I think that's a successful.
Well, again, if he gets 30, that's good. But I also, I would like to see overall it spread out a little bit more.
Don't disagree.
Where teams got to worry about other guys rather than
The
2, 3.
Tacos, the Heatles, and the Lafrenieres need to really start.
And I do like the way Brzezinski's playing.
Yeah, me too.
I think it was a good call up. He's definitely he looks like he's more involved and a little quicker than Carpenter was. So
yeah, and I think he brings out the better play in Sammy Blay. If I'm being honest,
I don't know what's going on with. I'm starting to really feel for the guy, but he's just not the same player he was, Paulie.
No, I don't.
How many games now has he gone without a goal?
Yeah, well, I mean,
I feel bad for the guy, but he's not the same. He's just not the same player he was before the injury.
He's not the threat that he could be. I don't disagree with you, but I mean, what is he playing? Is he playing? I don't think he's breaking 12 minutes in a game, man.
Well, he didn't break it that last year either, though, until he got hurt.
Well,
I'm just saying. I think it's the frustrations there with him right now. I think he's frustrated.
Yeah.
I think everybody's still holding their breath on him. I feel bad for him because I like the way he plays, but he just, you got to start producing sooner or later. Like, I don't care if it's a goal every 10 games, but at least get a goal, add a point here, blah, blah, blah. But,
So the Devils about to lose back-to-back games, huh?
Well,
that's good news.
Who's that against? Who are they playing? The Islanders or somebody?
I don't know who they're playing right now.
Who are they playing?
I'll tell you right now. Islanders and Bruins are tied. The Lightning are crushing the Kraken. Let's see here. Where's the Stars? The Stars beat them 4-1.
Well, Dallas is a good hockey club. You know that.
Well, good. I'm glad the Devils are losing. So the Islanders and Bruins are in overtime right now. The Lightning just walked all over the Kraken at 6-1. I think there's 27. There's a minute left in that game. Toronto played tonight, destroyed the Ducks 7-0. There's 29 seconds left in that game. The Oilers are beating the Predators late in the second period, 4-3. The Knights and the Jets, that's probably a good game. I'm sorry I missed it. That's it's only second period. I might try to catch the end of that game. It's 3-3. Jets are on a power play. Looks like end of the second. So we're going to the power.
There you have it, folks. You don't even need to go to the NHL Network. You just go to us on the Instigators. We'll give you the updates on the show.
Yep.
On the games.
Yeah. So a bunch of games tonight, man. Panthers beat the Blue Jackets 4-0. Stars beat Devils 4-1. The Sabres are destroying the Kings. Oh, I'm sorry. That is a final at 6-0.
How many goals did Tage Thompson get?
Jeez, man.
You saw he got five goals while we missed the show, right?
He scored his 22nd tonight.
That kid's the real deal, eh?
He sure is, man.
He's a big guy. I noticed that last year. I noticed him last year. I was like, this guy's got it, eh?
Yeah, he's like 6'5", isn't he? He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. He's got good hands, and he don't take no shit from nobody either.
Can the Rangers get someone like that, please?
You'd probably have to change their whole scouting staff.
Well, you know who you can put a fork in? Me. I'm done. I'm tired, man.
That's because you're a movie star now.
It's been a week.
He's a movie star.
And it's only Tuesday.
We're gonna start auditioning for Paulie's replacement soon because he's gonna be a big star someday.
That's gonna happen, but we're always gonna have this.
We're a big star.
We're always gonna have this show.
They'll go from Capo to like the 15th Harry Potter film or something like that.
We'll have to incorporate some kind of hockey in this thing.
Well, I told you about that one thing we should do.
I like that idea too.
We keep
I
that
love
quiet.
it.
We keep that quiet right now.
I love that idea.
Because if that happens, my guy, the comic book guy that I know, he's part of it too.
Yeah, of course. I love that idea.
That would work so good. We have to
I don't disagree.
we have to keep secret on that one.
It is a secret, but it's a great movie idea.
Oh, but it's got one thing's for sure, it's got to be violent as hell.
Yeah.
On his real job and on his second job.
I didn't see much of Barry tonight. I don't know if he's still here. He was quiet. He did log in for a minute.
Well, he was there for a while.
Barry, I need a couple of those Instigator stickers if you could shoot some my way. I don't know how many. I don't know if I got any. I need a few of those. I want to. I have a few ideas with them.
Oh, you know what? I finally noticed your door with the mask.
Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You gotta black the eyes out though, and the
yeah, I gotta black them out. Yep, exactly. I plan on doing that. Yeah, I plan on doing that.
Blitzer.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't showed everybody the studio, but
yeah, show the studio around one more time before we go.
All right, let's show the studio. I don't know what you can see here. A lot of greats. I don't know if you got to tell me if the lighting's bad, but that's let's see if I can shade the lighting out.
No. You got the shine from the computer screen.
Yeah, it's Gretzky. Got the boys, the core 94. That's Sweet Lou Piniella right there. And that says, can't be Sweet Lou all the time. He's one of my favorites. He's actually a guest of mine at BMW. Got a little football, the perfect Miami Dolphins season. I got my Rocky right there. I don't know if you can see that. See the necklace he's wearing? Can you see that? Oh, no.
I gotta get close. It looks like a Ranger necklace.
Yeah, it's a Ranger necklace. Got Leach, the Core 94. There's the Ranger clock up there. You see that? It's one of my boxes. I don't know if I showed you that yet. And Gretzky's got so this right here, I'm getting a whole Instigator thing there, but that's not done yet. This is Gretzky's wall. It's not completed. I got a couple more Gretzky things. That's an actual real Wayne Gretzky postcard there. Signed and issued. Pretty cool. I got that. One of my friends is a memorabilia guy. Just New York Rangers. And then obviously the drawing. There's the Moose. Got a bunch of stuff with the Moose. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not done. I got a little more work to do, but we're getting there. All right, got a couple autographed. That one's autographed. Obviously, the jersey's autographed. Then you got I got some old magazines. There's the Instigator puck right there. There's my boy Chris Katsopoulos. I love that thing. I'm trying to figure out. I want to put it somewhere else, but. Then we got the Yankees, a little bit of Yankees here. Yankees and Rangers.
How'd those Yankees do this year?
Whatever.
They took a shit like they always do since Jeter left.
Same as the Blue Jays, big boy.
It don't matter. You guys think you're the only fucking team on earth. That's all there is to it.
They are.
Yeah, well, you lost.
So, it's all right. Got 27 championships.
Who cares?
So there's my Yankees Hall of Fame area. That's signed by Tino Martinez. He's actually a friend of the
He's a great guy.
He's a wonderful human being. Got my Subway Series back there. When the Yankees beat the Mets, that created all kinds of problems. I got a couple of Rays balls. That's Thurman Munson, if you don't know who that is.
Wasn't he a pilot?
And then got a couple more. That's a sick joke, you fuck. It's fucked up, bro.
What?
That's what we got, man.
Awesome.
I got a couple more things. I got some coaching trophies up there. A couple ball hockey teams. And that's it for now.
Paulie's little man cave.
I still got like thousands of things I need to.
Listen, if I come down in February, you better have that big screen TV. That's all I got to tell you.
I got a few big screen TVs.
Big screen, not 50-inch, 75 or bigger.
Oh no, I got nowhere to put that.
You got plenty of room in that big townhouse here. It takes up one wall.
I could put a 70.
I am getting an 85-inch TV soon, by the way.
You got a pretty big one on the wall there. What do you got here?
It's not big enough.
Oh god. That's what she said. But anyway. That's it.
Yeah, that's it, folks.
And away we go.
Barry's there telling you he's been busy writing cards. I've been listening.
Oh, good, Barry. Barry, I need some of them Instigator stickers you got. I need those. I need probably a dozen, half a dozen if you have them.
300 or 400, Barry.
So all right.
That's it. So we're definitely going to do a show next week. It's all up to Paulie D. Hopefully they won't have another red carpet night because then Paulie won't be here. He'll be with his fans.
No red carpet next week. I do have a couple of slots that I have a lot of things I got to do. So I'm thinking next week.
Have you looked at the schedule?
Let me look at the schedule. Wednesday is probably maybe the only day that's going to work. Let me see. Let me see here. Let me see here. Shit, sorry, hold on. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's see here. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Tuesday, Pittsburgh. Wow, they got it packed full. So Wednesday is probably the day. I'll get back to you for sure. Wednesday they're free, and then Thursday they play the Islanders. So
we'll have 4 games to talk about.
Yeah. Wednesday. A lot. The Toronto, Philly, Chicago, and Pittsburgh. So Monday or Wednesday, I'm pushing probably towards Wednesday, if I'm being honest, Cox. But I'll let you know by the end of this week.
Sounds good.
Got a bunch of shit going on next week. So
thank you all for tuning in.
Hey, keep it coming. Keep subscribing. Make sure you get your merchandise. The merchandise is a little slow. Chris, your Christmas present's going to be late, big boy. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I usually send them cookies. I got you a Instigators ornament, but it's, our merchandise is a little bit slow right now. So I'm going to send you an Instigators ornament. I was very excited.
I'd rather have the chocolate and the cookies. No.
So it's going to be late. If the Rangers lose the next 4, they'll probably be back on the ledge. I don't disagree with you.
Coming from a Montreal Canadian fan, you figure it out. How the fuck do you have a Montreal Canadian fan living in bumfuck Pennsylvania? Think about it. Think about that one for a second.
Well, you guys can do all the thinking you want. Make sure you subscribe. Beth, you're the best. Thank you so much for all your help. The only thing I can say is probably Wednesday next week. It's always 8:30. Let's go Rangers. Big couple of games here. Big shout out to Matt, Barry, Michael, and everybody else out there that just continues to support. And
Beth, you're awesome. You are the best.
Yes.
Period. End of story.
She is the greatest of all time. And Beth is the one who told me today that we're probably going to shop a new place for our merchandise because it is really slow getting to everyone. I've had a couple of people like, "Hey, is my stuff ever going to come?" And it has arrived, but it arrives a little bit slow. So,
Look at my little friend.
oh, you got a new rat in the house? Where's Luna when you need her?
Luna only waits for people like you.
Yeah, I know. Luna wants to eat me. She leaves the rat alone. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, it's always a pleasure. Peace.
Ciao, baby.
Get your merch, bro. Let's see here. All right, Cots.